count to three and say a prayer.
2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Yeshua the Messiah, our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and God of all encouragement. All right? Important, right? Verse 4. He encourages us in every trouble so that we may be able to encourage those who are in any trouble through the very encouragement with which we ourselves are encouraged by God. So what does that say? It says, Paul is saying that Jesus encourages us so that we can use that experience and we can then in turn encourage other people. And I believe this completely. This is so true. I believe that every hardship that I go through, that when Jesus, and I call upon his name and I pray and I trust and I have faith that God is going to help me, and he comes and he picks me up and he dusts me off and he helps me out and he helps me get through whatever it is that I'm going through. I believe that he encourages me, and that's great, but I need to then remember that, and when I see somebody and I see somebody else going through a problem that's similar to what I've gone through, and I've already gone through it, and I've already had the encouragement of God, then I know that I can use that not only to remind myself, because oftentimes we are thankful that God helps us, right? We're thankful that he helps us, but then when we have trouble again, we forget all about it, and we're all worried, and we're all stressed, and we let life get in the way. It's sort of like Peter walking on the water. He takes his eyes off Jesus, he sinks. He sort of forgets to keep his eyes on Jesus, and I think sometimes we, when we have that trouble in our lives and God helps us and we're grateful, we forget about it, and the next time we're in trouble, we go through the same routine again. One, we need to remember that every time that God helps us through that, we need to cling to that, because that is an opportunity for us to remember what God has brought us through. And two, it's very helpful because as God has helped us with a certain situation, and we see other people struggling, and they're sinking, and they don't feel like they can come above water, then maybe God has put us into their path so that we can encourage them in the exact same way that God has already encouraged us. And that is the purpose of what Paul is saying to the Corinthians church, that as Jesus encourages us in our times of trouble, we can see people that suffer the same thing, and we can encourage them the same way God has already encouraged us. Now, I'm not pumping this, but I do have a book on faith. It's on Amazon. You could look at it, Journey of Faith, Miracles Still Happen. I do have a chapter in there where I talk about that oftentimes people want the big miracles, they want the big things, they want to see the big things that God is doing in their life. But really, it's the small things that we need to keep a focus on, the everyday things that God does for us. We need to remember what he has done to help us through those things, so that when we have any problem in the future, it's a reminder that God is still present with us. And it also helps us to encourage other people. Verse of the day.